Who would have ever imagined that the United States once stole a Soviet submarine right from the bottom of the ocean? This is not fiction. It happened during the tense years of the Cold War. In 1968, the Soviet nuclear submarine K-129 quietly sailed deep into the Pacific Ocean on a classified mission. Then, without warning, it vanished, about 2,400 kilometers northwest of Hawaii. To this day, no one knows the exact reason behind its disappearance. The U.S. Navy, using its top-secret SOSUS, sound surveillance system, detected an unusual underwater acoustic signal in that region. Meanwhile, the Soviet Navy repeatedly tried to make radio contact with K-129, but all attempts failed. In response, the Soviets launched a large-scale search operation that lasted nearly 2 months, without any result. The submarine and its 83 crew members were declared lost, but the U.S. had been silently watching. Once the Soviet Navy abandoned its search, the U.S. Navy sprang into action. 2 aging nuclear submarines, USS Halibut, nicknamed Big Shadow, and USS Seawolf, were reassigned for an ultra-secret reconnaissance mission. Their missile systems were replaced with intelligence-gathering equipment. Thanks to advanced underwater technology, the U.S. Navy managed to pinpoint the location of K-129's wreckage at a depth of 5,000 meters, one of the deepest salvage missions ever attempted. Intelligence suggested that the sunken submarine held nuclear warheads, classified technology, and possibly Soviet encryption systems. That was enough for Washington. President Richard Nixon approved a daring top-secret CIA operation, Project Azorian, also known as the Yasur Plan. If this mission failed or was exposed, it could ignite a full-scale war between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. So the CIA crafted an audacious plan, build a giant underwater claw that could reach 5,000 meters down and lift the submarine. But the mission had to be disguised to avoid Soviet suspicion. To do that, the CIA recruited eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes. Publicly, Hughes announced a deep-sea mining project. Under this cover story, a massive ship named the Glomar Explorer was built, supposedly for oceanic mineral exploration. To make it even more believable, Hughes brought in Hollywood actor Richard Anderson to endorse the ship in a promotional video. In front of the cameras, Anderson declared, "I'm now aboard what is probably the most technologically advanced seagoing vessel in the world today, the Glomar Explorer." Behind the scenes, the CIA tasked defense contractor Lockheed Martin with building the enormous mechanical claw that would grab and lift the submarine from the seafloor. The operation took over 4 years and cost $350 million, but to the CIA, every dollar was worth it. The Glomar Explorer was a marvel of engineering, weighing 50,000 tons, stretching 189 meters long, equipped with a massive internal well called a moon pool, and carrying 600 steel pipes, each 9 meters long, designed to connect into a 5,000-meter drill string to reach the ocean floor. By 1974, 6 years after the submarine sank, the mission began. With Soviet surveillance ships occasionally prowling nearby, the Glomar Explorer lowered its claw, link by link, into the black, crushing depths of the Pacific. The team on board was tense. Everything had to go perfectly. After 2 weeks, they successfully located and latched onto K-129. The salvage operation began. Slowly, the crew started lifting the 2,700-ton wreck to the surface. But when it reached about 1,500 meters from the top, disaster struck. The submarine broke apart. Crushed by the pressure, part of the K-129 fell back into the abyss. All those years of planning were partially undone in an instant. Still, the operation wasn't a total failure. The CIA recovered 1/3 of the submarine, including parts of its nuclear arsenal and 6 Soviet crew members, who were later buried with military honors in the United States. It's believed that one of the recovered bodies held crucial intelligence, possibly relating to how the Soviet naval nuclear systems operated. But the most valuable item, the Soviet codebook, was missing. Why? According to declassified documents, the submarine's captain was unusually tall. The K-129's sleeping quarters were designed for average-height officers, so he found it uncomfortable. and relocated the codebook to a rear missile compartment, the very section that had broken off and fallen back into the deep sea. The CIA considered a second recovery mission. But before that could happen, the operation was compromised. In July 1975, two burglars broke into Howard Hughes's office. During a violent struggle over an open safe, one side called the press. Reporters arrived before the police or the CIA. What they found in the office exposed Project Azorian to the world. Shortly after, the Los Angeles Times published a damning exposé. The Soviets were furious. Soviet Navy Admiral Sergei Gorshkov threatened to treat any unidentified ships in Soviet waters as hostile and ordered indefinite submarine patrols. Under mounting political pressure, the U.S. Congress shut down Project Azorian. The mission was over. Thus ended one of the most ambitious, secretive, and high-risk intelligence operations of the Cold War. The United States, through deep-sea engineering, billionaire cover stories, and Hollywood flair, stole a nuclear submarine from under the Soviets' nose. And for nearly a decade, the world had no idea.